Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Right now you are standing at the threshold of a break. Through not tomorrow, today. Today we decide that your voice will be heard, your message will matter, your speaking power will rise. Because silence doesn't build legacies, words do, clarity does, presence does. I'm here to show you how to trick your brain into speaking better instantly. Yes, instantly. Not in weeks, not when you feel ready, but right now. Let's go every morning when you wake up. The very first voice you hear is not from your phone, not from your parents, not from the world, it's your own. That silent whisper inside your head starts speaking before you even open your eyes. Sometimes it says, "Let's go, today's my day." But most of the time it says something else. "I'm tired, I can't do this, I'm not ready." That's your internal dialogue, and it's the single most powerful force shaping how you speak, how you act, and how the world sees you. If you want to speak better instantly, you don't start with your mouth, you start with that voice inside. Your internal dialogue is like the backstage director of your life. You can't see it, but it controls every move you make on the stage. When that voice doubts you, your tone weakens. When that voice lifts you, your words carry strength. Every stutter, every pause, every shaky moment when you speak, it doesn't start with nerves. It starts with a conversation happening in your mind. And here's the truth most people never realize. You can flip that switch. You can reprogram that internal dialogue right now. See, the brain listens to everything you say, even the quiet stuff. When you think, "I'm not good at speaking," the brain takes it as a command. It says, "Copy that, I'll make sure you forget words when you talk." When you think, "I'm going to mess this up," your brain goes, "Understood, let's activate anxiety mode." It doesn't argue with you. It obeys you. The brain doesn't care if you're right or wrong. It just follows orders. So if you want to trick your brain into speaking better instantly, you need to start giving it new commands. You flip that switch by changing the tone of your self-talk. Stop saying, "I hope I can do this." Replace it with, "I'm built for this." Instead of, "What if they don't like me?" say, "They'll feel my energy." The shift seems small, but the effect is massive. When you change the input, the output transforms. Your confidence, your clarity, your delivery, they all rise because your brain starts working for you, not against you. When you speak to yourself with strength, your brain activates the same pathways used by confident leaders, top performers, and powerful communicators. It releases chemicals that sharpen focus and regulate your breathing. That's why people who talk to themselves positively sound more controlled, more persuasive, more alive. They've trained their inner voice to be their coach instead of their critic. But here's the part most people miss. Flipping the switch isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily decision. The same way you brush your teeth, you've got to clean up your thoughts. Every time you catch your mind saying something weak, interrupt it. Literally say, "No, not today." Replace that line immediately with something powerful. If you're about to speak and the voice says, "You'll forget your words," answer it. "I'm in control of every word I say." If the voice says, "They won't listen," respond, "They will, because I'm speaking truth." You see, you can't silence that inner voice, but you can teach it to serve you. You can make it your partner in growth instead of your enemy in progress. Every powerful communicator you admire has done this. They've learned to speak victory inside before they ever speak success outside. They don't let fear write their script. They write it themselves. And the moment you begin to do the same, everything changes. Your tone gains authority because you believe in your own words. Your body language aligns with your conviction because your mind is no longer in doubt. You stop performing and start expressing. You stop worrying about sounding perfect and start focusing on sounding real. That's the real trick. Authenticity is born from confidence, and confidence is born from internal dialogue. Think about it. When a person walks into a room and everyone pays attention, it's not because they're louder. It's because their mind has already told them, "I belong here." That energy radiates through every word they speak. That's what happens when you flip the switch. You stop asking for permission to speak confidently. You decide you already have it. So from this moment on, I want you to start mastering that voice. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for a perfect speech or perfect timing. The moment you feel that doubt rising, take control, speak back, tell your brain what to do, it will listen. Say, "I'm strong, I'm calm, I'm clear." Say, "My words carry weight." Say, "I'm not trying to impress, I'm here to express." Because the one who commands their inner voice commands their outer world. Your breakthrough doesn't come from learning more techniques or copying someone else's style. It comes from mastering your own mind. Every time you choose power over fear, faith over doubt, confidence over hesitation, your speaking instantly transforms. The words don't just sound better, they feel better. People don't just hear you, they believe you. And that's how you trick your brain into speaking better instantly. You flip the switch of your internal dialogue. You stop letting the voice of doubt be the author of your story. You take the pen back, write a new script, and say it loud, I was born to speak, to inspire, and to lead. Because when your inner voice speaks victory, your outer voice becomes unstoppable. You want to speak better instantly. Then stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel confident, because that moment isn't coming. Confidence doesn't arrive, it's activated. You activate it through motion, through action, through what I call micro-actions, those tiny, deliberate moves that signal your brain, we're doing this now. See, your body and your mind are in constant conversation. What your body does, your mind believes. So if you want to rewire your speaking habits, you don't start by thinking different, you start by moving different. Most people try to speak better by memorizing techniques, breathe like this, pause like that, stand this way. But they forget that the brain learns through repetition and association. It doesn't change when you read something, it changes when you do something consistently. Microactions are small, almost invisible behaviors that build a new identity. You don't need to give a big speech to reprogram your speaking confidence. You just need to train your brain with small, powerful cues daily. Think about what happens before most people speak. Their shoulders tighten, their breath shortens, their hands fidget. Their body tells the brain, we're in danger. So the brain responds with fear, voice shakes, thoughts scatter, confidence collapses. But you can reverse that loop in seconds. The moment you feel nervous, do the opposite. Open your chest, roll your shoulders back, take one deep breath and lift your chin slightly. That's a micro-action. It takes 3 seconds, but it sends your brain a completely different message. We're safe, we're strong, we've got this. And the brain listens. You can trick your brain into speaking better by stacking these physical cues into habits. For example, before speaking, whether it's on stage, on camera, or even in a meeting, plant your feet firmly. That grounding tells your body, I'm rooted, I'm steady. Then smile slightly, not fake confidence, real calmness. That small smile relaxes facial muscles, opens your tone, and boosts dopamine. Your brain translates that as, I'm in control. That's another micro-action. Here's another one. Instead of saying or ah, when you think, use a silent breath. Literally inhale through your nose when you pause. That 1 second of air replaces filler words with composure. It's a micro-habit that turns hesitation into power. Over time, your brain associates that pause with control, not fear. Micro-actions also extend beyond the moments you speak. Every time you practice good posture, you're training your communication state. Every time you make eye contact with someone instead of looking away, you're conditioning confidence. When you talk to yourself in the mirror, even for 60 seconds, you're rewiring your brain's comfort zone. These moments may look small, but stacked together, they transform your entire speaking identity. Understand this, your brain doesn't care about big goals. It responds to consistent signals. If you tell it, I'm a confident speaker, but your body always acts nervous, it won't believe you. But if your body keeps sending strong, calm signals every day, your brain will accept that as truth. That's why micro-actions are the key to rewiring your communication habits. They make confidence automatic. The real secret is repetition. Do it once and your brain notices. Do it daily and your brain adapts. Do it for weeks and your brain locks it in. Speaking confidently becomes who you are, not something you're trying to do. That's the power of micro-actions. They create permanent habits through small, consistent choices. Let me give you a powerful technique, the speak mode trigger. Before every speaking situation, do a specific gesture that activates your best state. It could be snapping your fingers, tapping your chest once, or clasping your hands together. Choose one trigger and link it to confident action. Every time you do it, pair it with positive emotion and clear speech. Over time, that motion becomes your on switch. You'll do it, and instantly your brain will shift into focus, energy, and control. You can also train micro-actions by simulating pressure. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute a day. Watch it back, not to criticize but to correct. Notice your posture, your breathing, your expression. Adjust one small thing each time. That's how professionals improve. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on process. The truth is, habits shape performance more than talent. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if your body hasn't been trained to deliver it with presence, it won't matter. Every great speaker you admire mastered these physical cues. They've repeated micro-actions until confidence became muscle memory. So right now, make a decision. Stop overthinking and start acting. Straighten your back, breathe deep, and say one line out loud. I speak with purpose. Feel how your body responds. That's how it begins. Every small action you repeat rewires your system. You don't need to fake confidence, you just need to train it. From this day forward, use your body as a tool. Every step, every breath, every gesture should reinforce power, calm, and control. The more you practice these micro-actions, the faster your brain locks into that confident mode. Soon, you won't even have to think about it. You'll walk into any room, open your mouth, and your presence will speak before your words do. Because real confidence doesn't start with belief, it starts with behavior. Move like a communicator, breathe like a leader, and speak like someone who already belongs. Micro-actions make that possible. They're your hidden weapon, your daily training ground, your switch to instant power. So the next time you get ready to speak on stage, on video, or even to yourself, remember this: your body is teaching your brain how to perform. Train it with intention and you'll never have to chase confidence again. You'll live it, you'll speak it, you'll own it. Every human brain runs on patterns. It reacts faster than you think, acting before logic ever enters the room. The moment you feel nervous before speaking, your palms sweat, your throat tightens. Your voice shakes not because you chose it, but because your brain triggered an old program. A program built through repetition, through fear, through old memories of embarrassment or failure. The good news, you can reprogram that system. You can hack your brain by setting immediate triggers, shortcuts that tell your mind, we're not afraid, we're ready. You can condition your brain to respond with confidence on demand. Think about how automatic reactions control you. Someone calls your name, you instantly turn. You see a red light, your foot hits the brake. You hear a favorite song, your body starts moving. That's not effort, that's a trigger. The brain connects a cue with an emotion or action so deeply that it becomes instant. Now imagine using that same mechanism to speak better, to perform sharper, to communicate with calm authority. Instead of waiting for confidence to show up, you summon it. Instantly, the key is to understand that your brain is like a muscle trained by association. When it experiences something repeatedly, it builds a link. You can build links between gestures, sounds, or thoughts and emotional states like confidence, clarity, and control. The most powerful speakers don't rely on luck, they rely on triggers. They have specific cues that shift them into the zone of physical movement, a deep breath, a word, or even a song that activates their peak state. You can create yours starting today. Begin by choosing a state you want to enter: confidence, focus, calmness, energy. Then choose a simple, distinct physical cue you can repeat anywhere. It could be snapping your fingers, pressing your thumb and index finger together, tapping your chest, or taking one specific deep breath through your nose and out your mouth. Whatever it is, make it unique. That cue will become your brain's on switch. Now, here's how you train it. Each time you feel naturally confident, maybe when you finish a workout, when someone compliments you, or when you accomplish something, use your cue at that exact moment. Snap, tap, breathe, whatever you chose. Tell your brain this is confidence. You're teaching it to link that gesture with that feeling. Do it repeatedly and the link strengthens. Then, when you need that same emotion before speaking, all you have to do is trigger the cue and your brain floods you with the same energy. This is how top performers step into their element instantly. Before they go on stage, they close their eyes, breathe deeply, and activate their personal trigger. Within seconds, their mind switches from anxiety to focus. The body relaxes, the voice steadies, the eyes sharpen. It's not magic, it's mental conditioning. The brain doesn't care if confidence is real or remembered. It only responds to the command. But here's the trick most people miss: you must practice the trigger while your emotions are strong. The brain learns best through intensity. If you do it half-heartedly, it won't stick. So when you're feeling proud, alive, and powerful, that's when you repeat your cue. Lock that feeling in. Make the association deep and emotional. Because when it's wired with emotion, your trigger becomes unbreakable. Once you've built that foundation, use your trigger before every speaking situation. Before turning on the camera, before entering a meeting, before a presentation, pause for 3 seconds, activate your cue and let it shift your state. Feel it, breathe it, own it. That moment tells your brain it's time. The nervous system switches from fear to flow. The hesitation fades. Words start coming out smoother because your body now believes you're in control. Triggers can also help you reset when something goes wrong mid-speech. Maybe you forget a line, stumble, or lose focus. Instead of panicking, quietly activate your cue. It interrupts the brain's spiral and brings you back to clarity. That's what separates confident communicators from everyone else. They don't avoid pressure, they've trained to master it. Another way to deepen your trigger is through visualization. Close your eyes and picture yourself speaking with full power. Feel the energy in your body, the posture, the tone, the authority. Then activate your cue in that moment. Repeat it again and again until the image feels real. When you finally step into a real speaking moment, your brain will recognize the pattern and respond exactly the same way. Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and experience, it only knows repetition. The more you practice, the more automatic the trigger becomes. Over time, your confidence will stop feeling like something you need to find. Every powerful word that's ever changed a life started as a thought. Every speech, every message, every voice that moved the world began in silence inside the mind. But here's the problem. Most people never let their thoughts escape. They get trapped in overthinking, fear, hesitation, perfectionism. The mind starts spinning stories. What if I say it wrong? What if they judge me? What if I forget my point? And before a single word is spoken, the opportunity dies. To speak better instantly, you must learn to rewire thought into speech, to turn what you think into what you say with clarity and conviction. Your brain was never built to store thoughts, it was built to express them. Thoughts are meant to move. When you let them stay locked inside, they lose energy. They twist into anxiety and self-doubt. But when you train your brain to translate thought into speech immediately, you create flow, that powerful state where words come naturally, ideas connect, and your message lands with impact. So how do you do that? It starts with trust. You must trust that what you have to say matters. You must trust your mind to find the words as you go. Most people try to speak perfectly before they even start. They want every sentence to sound like a quote. But the truth is, clarity comes after expression, not before it. You can't organize a thought you've never spoken. You can't refine what you've never released. When you speak, you're not just delivering ideas, you're discovering them. The brain is an incredible translator, but only when you give it permission to perform. Think of it like a muscle. The more you let your thoughts flow out loud, the stronger that connection becomes. Every time you say what you think, even if it's messy, your brain learns to find faster, clearer pathways between your thoughts and your voice. That's why great communicators seem so natural. They're not born fluent, they're trained by repetition, by speaking often, by trusting the process. To rewire thought into speech, start small. Talk out loud to yourself when you think. Read your ideas instead of writing them silently. Record voice notes explaining something you learned. Don't worry about how you sound. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection between your mind and your mouth. You're building neurological speed, teaching your brain to move from idea to articulation without delay. Another key is awareness. Notice the moment you hesitate before speaking, that split second when your brain starts judging your own thoughts. That's where most people get stuck. Interrupt that pattern. Replace hesitation with action. The second you feel yourself overthinking, breathe once and speak. Say it. Even if it's not perfect, it's progress. Your brain learns through doing, not doubting. You can also use a powerful mental cue. Think it, say it. It's simple, but it works. When you think something valuable, express it. When you have an idea, share it immediately. The more you practice that habit, the shorter the gap becomes between thought and speech. Over time, your brain stops filtering every word through fear. It begins to trust your voice. Remember, communication isn't about finding the perfect words, it's about delivering the truth in motion. People feel energy more than grammar. They respond to confidence more than vocabulary. When your thoughts and your words move in harmony, people can feel it. There's a rhythm, a flow, a presence that demands attention. That comes only from training your mind to speak freely and fearlessly. And here's something powerful: your tone reveals your mindset. When your thoughts are hesitant, your voice hesitates. When your thoughts are powerful, your tone commands. If you want your speech to sound alive, you have to think with energy. Stop thinking about what could go wrong and start thinking through what you want to say. Focus on your message, not your mistakes. The energy you think with becomes the energy you speak with. It's also important to feed your mind the right input. You can't speak powerfully if thoughts are weak. You can't express inspiration if your mind is filled with doubt. Every book you read, every conversation you have, every thought you entertain builds the vocabulary and rhythm your brain will later use to speak. So choose your input carefully. Fill your mind with clarity, confidence, and purpose, because that's what will come out when it's time to speak. Here's a truth most people miss. You're not learning to speak. You're learning to unblock the speech that's already inside you. You were born communicating. The fear, the hesitation, the self-judgment that came later. The rewiring process is about returning to that original freedom where thought and voice move together effortlessly. Start practicing this daily. Speak your thoughts aloud for 5 minutes every morning. Talk about what you want to achieve, how you feel, what you believe. Don't script it. Don't judge it, just flow. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, even chaotic. But soon, something changes. You start thinking in complete sentences, your tone steadies, your pauses become intentional. That's your brain learning to trust your voice again. When you rewire thought into speech, your communication stops being mechanical, it becomes magnetic. You stop trying to sound impressive, and you start sounding real, and real always wins. Because when you speak from your mind through your heart, you connect. You make people feel something. You make them believe, so stop trying to control every word. Stop living in your head. The next time you have something to say, say it. Let it flow, let it live. Your thoughts are powerful only when they're spoken with courage. And once you train your brain to release them instantly, your words will stop sounding like practice. They'll sound like truth, and truth, delivered with conviction, is what changes everything. When you step into a room or stand in front of a camera, something powerful happens. All eyes, even if it's just the camera lens, are waiting for your energy. They don't just respond to what you say, they respond to what you project. The greatest speakers, the most magnetic leaders, they all understand one truth before you ever open your mouth. The room already knows who you are, not because you told them, but because you showed them. Owning the room is not about ego or dominance, it's about presence. It's about claiming space with certainty, even when no one else is there to validate you. When you speak to a crowd, your energy either fills the room or it gets swallowed by it. When you speak to a camera, the same rule applies, except the energy must travel through the lens, across a screen, and reach someone's heart on the other side. That's why owning the room isn't about the number of people watching. It's about the state you create within yourself. You can be standing alone in your bedroom, but if you walk in with power, posture, and purpose, the camera will feel it. Your audience will feel it. Presence begins long before you start speaking. It starts the second you walk, in the way you breathe, the way you stand, the way you look around. People don't remember your words first, they remember how you made them feel. So when you step into any space, ask yourself, what energy am I bringing in right now? Am I shrinking to fit the room, or am I expanding to fill it? The difference between average speakers and unforgettable ones is that the unforgettable ones decide, this is my space. My message belongs here. They don't wait for permission to lead the energy, they become the energy. Owning the room is a decision, not a reaction. Too many people walk into a space scanning for approval. Do they like me? Am I good enough? Do I sound okay? That mindset hands your power away. The moment you start performing for acceptance, you lose connection. You stop speaking truth and start speaking for validation. Real communicators don't chase attention, they command it by being fully grounded in who they are. When you know your value, your presence naturally pulls people in. If it's just you and the camera, treat it like a living audience. Look into that lens like it's the eyes of someone who needs your message. Feel their energy even if you can't see them. Speak with intention, not performance. The camera may not respond, but it records your energy perfectly. If you're holding back, it shows. If you're uncertain, it shows. But if you're locked in, present, and speaking from your core, it shows even louder. You don't own the room by being the loudest voice. You own it by being the most certain. Certainty is magnetic. Doesn't mean you have all the answers, it means you trust yourself in the moment. Every word, every pause, every look, every silence becomes part of your command. Even when you pause to breathe, do it with intention. Don't rush. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. When you pause with confidence, the audience leans in. You're teaching them that your words carry weight. And posture, that's everything. Your body tells your brain, I'm safe, I'm strong, I belong here. Straighten your spine, ground your feet, open your chest. Keep your eyes forward. It's not arrogance. It's ownership. The way you hold yourself becomes the frame for how people will hold your message. The body is the container that delivers your energy, and when that container is open, powerful, and still, people feel it instantly. Here's the truth: people don't follow perfection. They follow authenticity. You could have the best script in the world, but if you don't show up real, you'll lose them in seconds. The camera doesn't need your perfection, it needs your conviction. When you speak from truth, when your tone carries emotion and your eyes carry purpose, even silence becomes powerful. That's how you own the room, not by dominating it, but by connecting to it completely. You must also learn to command your space emotionally. Before you start speaking, set your intention. What do I want this room to feel when I'm done? Do you want them inspired, moved, awake, focused? Once you decide that, everything in your energy aligns: your voice, your posture, your timing. The brain starts serving that mission automatically. That's how world-class communicators operate. They don't just say words, they transfer states. Even when it's just you and your camera, remember, you are not speaking to a lens, you are speaking to a life. There's someone out there waiting to hear exactly what you're about to say. So show up like they're already listening. Deliver it like it matters, because it does. Owning the room doesn't come from practice alone, it comes from purpose. When you believe deeply in your message, your confidence expands beyond your body, the room starts adapting to you, the camera starts reflecting your fire, and that's when real communication happens, when your energy fills the entire space so completely that people don't just hear you, they feel you. So the next time you stand up to speak, whether it's to 1,000 people or a silent camera, remember this: the room doesn't define you, you define the room. Don't wait for confidence to arrive, create it. Don't wait for energy to rise, bring it. Don't wait for permission to speak like you belong. You already do. When you carry yourself like a leader, speak like a believer, and move like you mean it, the world listens. Every time now I want you to stand or sit right now, feel your posture, take a deep breath and say to yourself, I am the voice. I make my message clear. I command attention because you aren't waiting for permission, you aren't waiting for the perfect time. The time is now, the voice is yours, the legacy is being built. Go speak better, instantly, unapologetically, for yourself, for your audience, for your future. See you at the top where your voice echoes and your legacy lives.